Hey there and welcome back to my devlog for Galactic Mercenaries, a classic-inspired RTS game with some slight twists like space combat. If you're new to the channel and enjoy game devlogs and video game remakes, then I'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribed and hit the notification bell. Now previously in Devlog 2 we added unit movement to the player troops, but most importantly space combat. Yes, I thought it'd be a great idea to add space combat when I haven't even completed the first playable demo of the game. Now you might be wondering why there's been a big gap between my previous devlog. Well, between then and now I spent most of my time remaking Metal Gear Solid 1, but as a voxel game. So you go watch that. No, seriously, I put a ton of hours into that video. Just go watch it now. Just do it and come back, please. Please, I'll feel better. However, I did manage to make some progress on Galactic Mercenaries, most notably expanding the vehicle AI, adding vehicle capture behavior in for the enemy troops, and adding vehicle combat. To kick things off, I started by updating the enemy AI script so the enemy attack jeep moves to a free territory similar to the troops.
Careful, Austin!
Simply put, I added a bull check which was set to true if the vehicle engine script was not null on the enemy. Then, where I typically do the movement using navmeshagent.setDestination, I just added an if statement to check if this was a vehicle. If so, I would pass the location to the vehicle engine script rather than using the navmesh agent. At this point, I'm thinking I may have to separate out the two scripts to try and make the AI modular based on the enemy type, like a troop or, for example, a vehicle. Probably should have done that from the start, but planning's not my specialty.
Surveillance is my specialty! Okay.
With the enemy vehicles now moving to free territories, I realized we didn't have any troops driving the vehicle.
Yo, Brennan, break him up a little.
Who's steering the boat?
Dad, please shut up. Please shut up!
So I took this opportunity to update both the enemy and player vehicles in Blender with some slight aesthetic changes, but the biggest additions being the troops and animations for them. I now have 3 troops: the driver, the passenger, and one manning the turret, or aka the boys. To make the vehicle capture system work, I set up 3 different vehicles: the uncaptured vehicle, player occupied, and enemy occupied. How this works is that each attack jeep has a vehicle check script to swap in either the player or enemy attack jeeps if the player or enemy are within range. If the vehicle is already occupied, then I've set a limit of 3 troops per vehicle, so if it's full, no more enemies will be able to enter. I've got a second script called vehicle controller which loops through the troops themselves and sets them either active or inactive based on the total number of troops allowed in the vehicle. I made the troop spawn system we previously designed modular so that I can use the same script not just for spawning different types of troops, but also things like vehicles and tanks. Works perfectly, not a single problem.
Not a single problem.
I did this by adding an enum and used a switch statement to call our spawn function, which would spawn in the right infantry. At this point I also updated the spawn system to make use of our pooling system which we developed in the previous devlog for our spaceships. I noticed this greatly improved the smoothness of the gameplay as our troops were no longer constantly being instantiated during the game. Rather, all the troops were instantiated at the start of the game and then set active to true when they spawned or to false when they were destroyed. For the attack behavior, I created a separate turret combat script which uses on-trigger enter to add both the player and enemy troops to a list, with the first target being the first troop to enter the list. Then, depending on whether the player or enemy occupies the vehicle, the turret smoothly rotates towards the opposing troop and fires at them. For the rotation, I calculated the direction between the target and the turret tip, which I added as an empty game object, and this was parented to the turret. I also parented the troop to the turret so that they would rotate with the turret when they were aiming at their target. When a troop is defeated, I have it set to clear the troop from the list by checking if the troops in our list are active game objects. For the shooting, I decided to get rid of the previous approach where we instantiated bullets and projected them towards the direction we were aiming at. Instead, I just decided to cast a ray in the direction the turret rotates. If the ray hits a player troop or vice versa, then our muzzle flash VFX will play, and we will make use of the same health script to do the damage to the troops. This definitely works better than instantiating a ton of bullets, which slows down performance. And again, I don't know why I thought this was originally a good idea. I just thought it would be cool to have bullets flying towards the enemy. Now I could go back and add the bullets to another pool, but I feel like that's overkill and this just makes it more simple. But let me know what you think in the comment section. On that note, I do have some slight bugs to fix. but I'm happy with the progress made so far on the attack jeeps. I'll be doing the same for the player vehicles, but I do need to integrate the player control system so that we can select and move our vehicles in a similar fashion to the troops. Let me know your thoughts and what you think of my approach to the vehicle combat system. Thank you for watching this devlog. I know it's a bit shorter than my usual ones, but I am trying to cut them down and see if people like or prefer the shorter videos versus the longer devlogs that I do. I've also had a lot on the plate both personally and work-wise over the last few months, so it's been a bit slow on the game dev front, but I do plan on getting these devlogs out faster to you all moving forward, so if you enjoy this type of content, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you enjoy this video, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. Thanks again, and as always, drink some coffee, code, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Slight bugs to fix.